Hey, Kerry, how's it going?
Hey David, how are you?
Doing pretty well, doing pretty well. Excited for us meeting today, getting some
Yeah,
more help here.
so am I. So am I. So you're in the dog training business,
Hmm.
and you told me prior to our meeting that you wanted to uh, connect to more people
Hmm.
about what you do in dog training in
Yes.
in New York City.
Hmm.
So um, we're going to uh, our objective today is to get a video that you can actually use
Okay.
in the next few minutes. Get a video that you can use to put out there on social media, whether it's Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram or TikTok.
Okay.
So we're going to work on getting a, a video that adds value to the people that you want to connect with, your community, the dog
Right.
training community, the families who need a dog trainer.
Yes.
So we're going to see if we can't very quickly put together this video. Okay.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Yeah. So the first thing that we're going to uh, look at is we've got to do an outline
Okay.
and put within this outline
Hmm.
um, things necessary that will help you connect to your community, will help you connect faster to your community, an outline. We're going to work on that. Then we're going to practice that outline. We've got
Hmm.
to practice, see what works in your delivery. Are you going to stand up or are you going to sit down? And eye contact and so forth and so on as you have this outline in your hand and
Okay.
how you look at that and then connect. Do you have your paper ready? So
Yeah, I do. I got it
great.
right here.
All right, okay. And the third thing will be um, what platform we're going
Okay.
to use to put it out there. And a quick side note, you know that LinkedIn right now is the best for businesses
Hmm.
connecting. And with the people who are going to hire you are probably families, right?
Right.
Adults who have pets,
Yeah.
correct? So, and where do they go? Facebook, another place they go.
Hmm.
And what are they looking for? So, those three things, and it's what we're going to work on right now. So, the first
Okay.
thing is now the outline.
Hmm.
The outline, which I want you to roughly put together right now. Do you have paper and pencil? You said you have paper.
Yeah, I do. I got some right here.
Okay. So the outline, the introduction,
Hmm.
and the body and the conclusion. So the introduction, body, and conclusion. In the intro, and make sure they're spaced out so you can see them and then fill in the blanks.
Okay.
Introduction and make some room, body and make some little bit more room, conclusion. Now
Okay.
in the introduction,
Hmm.
the whole idea of an outline is to make sure you put all of your ideas into one complete set that's powerful.
Hmm.
And so we have to, that's why the outline takes the longest. You don't want to just be rambling about um, about why people should choose you as the dog trainer. You want to
Right.
be able to boom, give them ideas and suggestions and done.
I'd love that.
So in the introduction, there is an attention getter. Now, an attention getter, I know, gets attention, yes, but how do you get attention? Quickly. Lots of people use a question, or you can use a story, or you can tell a joke or whatever. But usually telling a story or ask a question is the quickest, and it gets to the heart and the mind and the soul of the individual watching. All the titles on YouTube and so forth and so on, they ask a question or they tell a story. So yeah, let's instead of I was about ready to ask you, what question could you use? Well, I'm going to do that right now. What question could you use to dog owners that are looking for dog trainers? What is it that they need the most? Why do they look for dog trainers? Why do people look for dog trainers? Have you ever been afraid that your dog, as you take him for walks or go out to the dog park, that the dog would bite you? Or a dog would bite somebody else and they sue you?
Right. I was thinking about that. You said it could be a question or a story as well?
Yes.
Question or story. I have a few stories from clients. I guess it's hard for me. I usually have trouble with attention getters. I mean, even like back in school, that would be the hard part for me. So I appreciate this because I don't know how to condense like a big story into just a small part.
What hits you in your heart, in your gut about the story? Have you ever? How do you avert someone whose dog is about ready to attack? What is in your most important story that you like, that you still remember?
Yeah.
Why? Tell me the story and we'll tell me the one story. How long have you been in this business?
It's been almost 5 years now.
5 years. You have so many stories.
Yeah.
Tell me about the one story that you will never forget.
Well, it happened recently, actually. It's maybe I shouldn't have favorite clients, but I do, because they're really on top of it with the training. They are just awesome every week, trying to make sure that they can take the training to the next level. And they were walking with their family, my clients, and they were walking with their family, and the dog was on leash. And as they were going along, the dog got loose from the leash, and it's just a quick, sudden movement. Got off of the leash, and then picked something up off of the ground, and it ended up being a hard piece of glass, a really hard, sharp piece of glass. And because the owner knew what to do, because we had practice with not similar situations, but lower intensity situations, they knew how to approach their dog. They knew what type of energy to approach their dog with. They executed that beautifully and were able to ask their dog to drop it. And the dog was able to drop the hard piece of glass onto their hand. and didn't swallow it, didn't get injured, no cuts in his mouth. I mean, that was a life-threatening situation that happened recently. Actually, it was about 4 months ago that my client texted me and showed me a picture of the glass and let me know about what had happened. And they said,
what did you coach them? What did you train them to do with the dog?
mhm.
What did you do? Why? You said, so what, yeah, what did you train them to do?
How to approach their dog when they're very possessive over something and they can be potentially aggressive as a result. So we usually call it resource guarding, and in this case, it happened to be a piece of glass. So, gosh, because we had worked so much on resource guarding, then the piece of glass wasn't an issue, even though it very well could have been.
So how can you put that into a question? Would
Um,
you be able to save if your dog was in danger, would you be able to save your dog from
mhm, mhm. That's great. I mean, that's the whole purpose of training, essentially. It's not to get those fancy tricks for Instagram, it's really to be able to save your dog in these life-threatening situations, to have that love and trust built between the two parties so that, nothing bad happens.
Would you be able to save your dog in what did you say, life-saving?
In life-threatening
In
situations.
life-threatening. Okay, write that down.
Okay.
Life-threatening situations. Would you be able to save your dog in life-threatening situations? Would that get your attention? Would that get, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. So that's your attention getter. Done. The next would be you tell your audience what you're going to talk about.
Okay.
3 things that you're going to talk about. Now, what are 3? These are going to be your main points very quickly in your video.
Mm-hmm.
What would you in life-threatening situations? With that as your theme, how to be able to save your dog in life-threatening situations.
Mm-hmm.
What are 3 things that you would want your community to know?
In regards to that, that consistent training is what's going to be able to help them to, one, not get in those situations in the first place, but 2, handle those situations if they do arise.
So not getting into those situations in the first place.
Mm-hmm. And should I make just like a 1, 2, 3 by the intro?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Right under attention getter.
Okay.
Not getting in those situations in the first place. And then what was the other part of that?
And being able to correctly handle them when they do arise.
Handle the situation when they arise. What else? Don't you have a theory about training dogs? Don't you have
Yeah,
a theory?
I usually what I've done is implement child developmental psychology and then really just translate that theory over to dogs, which it happens to work beautifully. There's very little translation that actually happens.
Give me one example.
So, for example, like the zone of proximal development, this is a big theory in child developmental psychology, where if it is, if a certain situation is too overwhelming, then the child won't be able to handle it. And if it isn't overwhelming, if it isn't challenging enough, then the child isn't really learning. So you have to find somewhere right in the middle so that it's challenging enough for the child to learn, but not too challenging that they will get overwhelmed. So I implement that with dogs, like in different scenarios. Okay, maybe being outside in the park, surrounded by squirrels, birds, other dogs, and children, maybe that's overwhelming. But starting off in the living room of their apartment, that's some place that we can work towards, we can work from.
Okay, right there. So that, what do you want to call that?
Hmm.
It's child, not child development. Yeah, is it dog development?
I guess so. Yeah, you could say that. Dog developmental psychology.
Dog developmental psychology.
Sure. I like the sound of that.
Right. And that's an example right there. Correct. That's
Yep.
then I'm going to want to hear the example
Okay.
later on. In the body, I'm going to want to hear the example. And
Okay.
what's the third thing?
Um,
You have your first thing is the, what is it? The A, which is the,
no, so first was not getting into those situations in the first place, into life-threatening situations in the first place.
what do you want to call that? Why do I have consultant training? No.
Prevention.
Preventive
Preventive training. Yes,
Okay.
beautiful.
Training, preventing training. Good. Preventing training. Okay.
Or preventive.
Prevent. Oh, listen to you. Oh, go ahead, David. Yeah. Write this outline. Preventive training. Good. And what's the third thing that you think is most important to let your community know? To say, this is what I do that very few other trainers do.
Well, that would be the as we've coined it, the dog developmental psychology. I feel that's what really sets me apart is that I'm getting so much of my techniques or my understanding from child developmental psychology and applying it to dogs.
Right, because that's what your college study was all about, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right. That might be, we might switch those two. That might be A, in your introduction. And then B might be preventive. And what's C?
C would be how to handle them when they do arise. So, so how to handle life-threatening situations when they do arise.
That's going to be B.
No, that's
That's
B.
the preventive. Yeah, that's going to be preventive.
Okay. So,
Right.
so those two will be linked up into one
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. In the body.
Okay.
In the body.
So these will be just 1 point.
In the introduction, you have the attention getter, which you have the question. Then you have, today we're going to talk about the dog development psychology.
Okay.
And we're going to be talking about the preventive training of a dog. And we're also going to be talking about what? You can compare, and we're going to talk about other dog training companies.
Beautiful. Okay, I like that. So
then we're going to compare, and the word compare other companies.
So, and that would be number 3, just like
number 3. That would
be
number 3. I shouldn't say A, B, and C. I should say 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
So in the introduction, you have your attention getter, which is A. B, you have today we're going to talk about, and then 1, 2, 3. These 3.
Okay.
And then you have to say, well, people are going to say, who are you?
Yes.
Oh, well, my name is.
Okay.
So that's within the introduction. That is A, B. That's C. Your name. C is your name. So you give your name, your title, what you do.
Okay.
And how long have you been in the business? And how long you've been in the business.
Okay. So I have the attention getter, just trying to make sure I have everything all nice and organized here.
Good.
I have the attention getter, which is, would you be able to save your dog in a life-threatening situation? Today we'll talk about, and then the three points.
Yes.
I put it as 1A and 1B just to not get myself confused.
Okay.
But 1A and 1B being not getting into those situations in the first place and how to handle them when they do come. 2, dog developmental psychology. And 3, comparing and contrasting with other businesses.
Right.
Okay, beautiful. And then after that, that's when I introduce myself.
Yes.
Okay. And how come you would recommend introducing myself at that point instead of before at the attention getter?
I'm so glad you asked. Because nobody cares about your name, not yet. Nobody, nor mine, until after you help them with something. After you connect. You ask them a question, then it connects. Then they're willing to go, yeah. And then you tell them what you're going to talk to them about. And you go, oh, okay. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'm with you. Who are
Mm.
you? How do you know this? My name is Kerry Ruff. I've been involved with this and involved with training dogs for 5 years in New York City. So I know what I'm talking about. And
Mhm.
oh, okay. But if I just say, hi, I'm Kerry Ruff, and I've been a dog trainer for 5 years, and yeah, so they
Okay.
go, whoop, they flip, they keep going.
That's so interesting.
Why am I going?
It's
Why am I going to listen to you just because you tell me your name?
right. That's, I actually really like that because most of the time, that's the approach people take. It's like, well, I mean, that's the approach I take. It's, hey, I'm David Leon. Like, hey, I've been like you're saying, 5 years dog trainer in New York City, and um, I wouldn't have thought to do that first. Get their attention, and then get them. You're saying like getting them invested in what you have to actually talk about, and then being like, oh, okay, by the way, I'm David Leon. Here's how I can help you with this.
Yes, without saying I'm David Leon, which is a waste
Uh,
of time in the very beginning.
right. Right
They'll
in the
want to
very
know,
beginning.
hopefully,
Okay.
they want to know your name and how to get in touch with you at the end of a minute video.
Okay.
Then they'll
Right.
go, oh, who is this guy?
Mm,
Oh, there it is. There it says David Leon. And they go,
right.
oh, look, I'm David Leon. It comes up that done. But you're not going to you've got to get their attention. And I
Mm-hmm.
hopefully with your attention getter, it's got to add value.
Mm-hmm.
If you say, where did it go? Where's your question? Oh, here it is. And you're looking at me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at you, and I said, would you be able to save? What do you mean save my dog? I want to save my dog in life-threatening situations. Huh? Would I be able to do that? Oh shoot! Hey Sparky, would I be able to? Sparky, where the? Hey Pixie, that was my real dog. Would I be able to save Pixie's life?
Mm.
No. So you got my attention. What? So what? And a little bit more, you say, this is what I'm going to talk about today, or talk about in this video. Boom, boom, boom.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to want to know, who are you? What have you
Mm.
done? 5 years of research, 5 years and of doing it.
Right.
Then I go, oh, I want to hear more. Okay.
I see. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I think even as you were describing that to me just now, I was already thinking, and I guess that's great because then it got my thought process in order. I was thinking about the fact that um, only 4% of America that owns a dog has taken a dog training class. And that's just that they've enrolled in one dog training class. That's it. And so the actual percentage of dogs who are trained and humans that are trained for a potential life-threatening situation is so low. I mean, at that point.
Okay. So that after, now I know you wrote down your name,
Uh-huh.
your title, dog trainer, maybe, if you want, and then and dog training. And do you have a name of your organization, your company, your business?
Yes. Called it Top Dog Training.
Okay. So your name, then Top Dog Training.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been involved with this business for 5 years. That's it.
Okay.
Now's the body part, because this is where you're going to put that statistic.
Okay.
So in the body, Now, I said I would like to, but this is your decision. I'd like to have the dog development philosophy, number one in the body.
Okay. Number one. Okay.
And then so number one, and then leave a space to put in the preventive training.
Okay.
Leave some space, then put in comparing companies, number 3.
Okay. So the first one I'll start off with, after introducing my name, how long I've been training, the area I'm in, and my business name, I'll then do body paragraph number 1, and that would be the dog developmental psychology.
Right.
Okay.
So now let's talk about that, the dog developmental psychology.
Okay. Let's see.
Which is and then you just say, let me give you an example. Just a few days ago, you can even say a few days ago, a dog, and then you can give a little bit of the story. Wait, is that where you want the story for? It can be overwhelming. Nah, wait a second.
That could actually work beautifully, because the theory that I was mentioning earlier, the zone of proximal development, that is exactly how we went about training up to the moment where his dog was in a life-threatening situation with a piece of glass in his mouth. So
okay, tell a little bit of that story, but we're going to have to break it down really small.
Really small, yeah.
Really not fast, but you have to break it down really small, because you don't want this over 2 minutes.
Right.
And you want to be able to even cut it up, and put, boop, 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 on TikTok with music.
Right.
So put down the story, then give an example. First of all, maybe give an example. When you take your dog to the dog park, it can be overwhelming. And if you take a dog and train them at home, it's not as overwhelming for your dog. So which do you want? Do you want a little bit of the story, or do you want, okay, the first thing I'm going to talk about is the dog developmental philosophy, which is a dog can be overwhelmed at the park, a lot of different things, but you can train the dog at home, a little easier situation. Let me give you an example. A few weeks ago, the dog was on it and then swallowed some glass, and the trainer was able to take the glass out of the dog's mouth quickly and easily, because I had helped train the dog at home, not in the park where it's overwhelming. That's fast and that's easy. So just say, the first thing is dog development philosophy. Let me give you an example. You can train, the dog can get overwhelmed in the park, but when you train a dog at home, you can be trained of how to, if you get in trouble physically and so forth and so on. Let me give you an example, or let me give you a story. Which one do you, I don't know.
Uh,
Go ahead.
I like them both. I was wondering, so if because I guess I was thinking about the structure of it. With this, um, could I say, so dog developmental psychology, what sets me apart, or I guess I don't want to directly say that, right? What sets me apart from other trainers?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Um, so dog developmental psychology, I implement child developmental psychology to dogs. An example of this is the zone of proximal development, where you can, where you're, wait, I'm trying to
Yeah.
explain it
No,
as
yeah.
short as possible.
Make it very simple and very direct.
Okay.
So, dog development psychology is, for example, when you train a dog outside, it's too much stuff. It's overwhelming. When you train a dog at home, a story would the story that is one thing that I have experienced is that and a dog was choking and da da da. Don't
Okay.
make it any more complicated, because I and others are not going to take time to listen.
Right.
Boom, boom, help me. Just help me. Add value, or I'm going to move on.
Okay.
Quick. So you don't.
So I should say, if you try to train your dog out in the park with lots of distractions, it isn't going to work. However, if you work up from a low stimulating environment, it will. And here's an example of this in my training.
Write that down.
Okay.
Tell me what you're writing.
Okay, so I'm writing, if you try to train your dog to listen to you outside with tons of distractions,
it can be overwhelming to the dog. That word overwhelming is powerful.
Okay. It can be overwhelming. Yeah, well, yeah, not just for the dog, but the human also.
Yeah, but we're talking. Yeah, be overwhelming for both you and the dog.
Right.
So I train dogs and their master to work on an environment that's relaxing.
Okay. However, if you start from a low stimulating
Good.
environment, you'll have success.
Right. Okay. Now just say an example of that would be a story. A story would be, I could tell you a story.
Okay. So an example of that would be
In my own business, just a couple of weeks ago.
Okay. So an example of that would be
In my own business, in my own business, yeah.
Would be in my own business. Would be in my own business.
Tell them what happened.
Where An owner's dog.
No, really quick.
Uh-huh.
The dog ran over, picked up some glass. A dog ran over. My owner's dog ran over, picked up some glass, and was about ready to swallow it. And the owner went over and was able to say, "Drop it," and the dog dropped it.
Okay. So where a puppy picked up some glass.
And because of the training, the dog was able to, the owner was able to go over and the dog dropped the glass from its mouth.
Okay. So where a puppy picked up some glass, but because of, should I say my training or
Yes.
our training?
Yes, my training.
Okay. Because of my training, they were able to have their pup drop the glass.
Right.
With no injury.
Right. Now let's go on to the preventive training.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Cool. So then, and then that would be number 2, right?
That would be number 2,
Okay.
The second main point. Now let's go on to preventive training. Now let's go on to, preventive training. Yeah.
I'm not sure if it would be preventive or preventative.
Oh, preventative training.
Yeah. Preventative. Yeah. Okay. Preventative training.
Which is not getting in that situation in the first place, and handling the situation when they arise. It's something like I like.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
I like training both the dogs. How do you train dogs not to get in those situations in the first place?
Mostly through them being able to listen to their owner in highly stimulating environments.
Okay, write that down.
Okay. So I would say 2, preventative training, and then put under it getting puppy to listen to owner.
Is having the puppy or the dog you want to say dog, have the dog not get in harmful situations. And how do you do that?
Right.
So how do you train dogs? What's a harmful situation other than that one of glass? Give me another.
Sorry, I'm just finishing this. Is having your dog listen to you in a highly stimulating situation?
Yes. Yes. That's what I would want to know. And how do you train the dog not to listen to you in highly, oh, it's just like horses that I know that
Mm-hmm.
are in, in the city or whatever, and
Yeah.
with going, everything's happening, and then people are running and yelling, and the horse keeps calm.
Mm.
So how do you train them? This is a good one. I like this one because I'm around horses. So how do you train dogs to do that?
I find it funny, by the way, as a side note, that you're about the third person this month that has related dog training to horse training.
Well, that's because we love horses.
Yeah, especially here
You
in New
walk
York
around
City.
this home right here, you'll find lots of pictures of horses, and my wife and I, Patty and I, riding horses in Colorado. But that's a whole nother thing.
Really?
Okay, yeah, but that's
Okay.
a whole
Sorry, I distracted.
So yeah, I can be focused because I want to make sure I get this done. So
Right.
and make sure you get a product here that you can use. So how do you train?
Mm-hmm.
How do you train dogs to listen in highly overstimulated moments?
Right.
What's your biggest add value point?
One of them. Well, I have another story for that. I'm not sure if.
Okay. Well, but we have to break it down
Right.
really quick. So, how do you train? So, you're about ready to tell me a story, but what did you do within that story to train them to listen?
Right. Well, along the same lines, it was that the dog had gotten, this dog had gotten off of leash and was racing towards the street. And then the owner was able to call out his name, and the dog stopped in its tracks. And then the owner was able to approach and have him come over to them.
Don't all dogs do that? You go, hey, Pixie, stop. Don't all dogs do that?
No,
Stop.
especially a puppy like this one would. There's a little corgi puppy, and oh man, they'll just race towards whatever they want.
So how did you train them? How did you train that corgi?
Yeah. So anytime that he would fixate on something and try to chase after it, we would keep practicing breaking that fixation and redirecting their attention to us instead.
I love the word redirecting because I use it all the time. How do you redirect? How do you redirect a dog?
We usually do luring, so we'll do with like a chicken or turkey or something, and then we'll have them, we'll call out their name, and once they look at us, they get some chicken. Or if they're having trouble, we put it right to their nose, and lure them to make eye contact.
Okay. How do you put that in one sentence? I use chicken, or we use chicken to redirect, chicken or turkey or a sweet to redirect dogs that are in an overwhelming situation.
Okay, so is having your dog listen to you in a highly stimulating environment. I use chicken, or I could say I use a high value treat.
Yeah, there we go. High value treat.
Okay.
High value treat to redirect. Love that word. Redirect. That's when giving speeches or presentations, you just redirect your fear. You can't get rid of your fear, but you just redirect it. I don't say we use treats. I I just say you can redirect by putting in a story, or putting in, hey, how are you, and compliment about something else, and oh, glad you could make it to this meeting today. Just redirect your own fear and doubt and insecurity when giving a speech, giving a presentation. So you just redirection. So put that in.
Okay. So would I say something like, I help owners break their dog's fixation and redirect their attention to them?
Just what you said before.
Okay.
By using
a high value treat.
High value treat.
So
by redirecting them by using a high value.
So I use high value treats to redirect the dog's attention from the stimulus to the owner.
No. Stimulus to the owner. Stimulus to the situation. What we're talking about. The life-threatening situation.
Okay. So I use high value treats to redirect the dog from a life-threatening situation.
Right, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, not to anybody else, for the dog. What do you use in the preventative training? I use, for example, then you can give them another. When a dog is running for the street, the dog has to be trained trained not to run out into the street.
Right.
I
see what you're saying. And then it ties back together. Yeah, from a life.
You can just just say, preventative training is if a dog is running out to the street, running about ready to run into the street, I use high value treats, training with high value treats to redirect them from getting hurt.
Okay. So I use high value treats to redirect from a life-threatening situation.
For example, then you have to kind of tell them that if a dog was just running into the street, if a dog was about ready is about ready to, then you use the treat. No, you use the treat beforehand.
So
now say the fear first. If a dog, preventative training, for example, if a dog is about ready to run into the street, what I do in my business is I train dogs not to do that by redirect. Then you tell them how you do it. So you might want to start off with saying, if a dog is about running into the street with cars, what I do, or has a tendency of running into the street with cars, I use high valued treats to redirect the dog's attention so he doesn't do that.
Right. Well, and then the biggest thing is that we practice that on a lower level, on a lesser scale, and then we work up towards that potential life-threatening situation.
Yeah, but we don't have to go, you can't go into all that.
Right. So, for example, if a dog runs, if a dog is running towards the street.
If a dog had a tendency.
Well, because the reason I kind of hesitate with that is some, whether they have the tendency or not, that can happen to anybody. It's more general. Like if a dog never has a tendency to do that, but they do it anyway out of nowhere one day, like I would want to make sure I'm targeting those owners because that's a lot more general.
Yeah, but this is a video to people who own dogs
Mm-hmm.
who will say, "Oh, my dog does that. I need to
Okay,
call David Leon
I see. Okay.
and call and email David Leon for that." You're not. This is a video. This isn't. You're not going to walk them through it.
Right.
So
Okay.
the video has to connect
Mm-hmm.
emotionally
I see
to
what
the
you're
people
saying.
who are watching it. So if you
Mm-hmm.
say if a dog, not your, we can say your dog. Well, if a dog
Mm-hmm.
has a tendency of running off into traffic, what I do is what we do at my company, my business is to I use high value treats to redirect this action.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you
Okay.
need to say.
So, for example, if a dog has a tendency to run towards the street,
I
I
use high value treats to redirect.
okay, and so I guess I'm a little confused. Because I have two preventative training, and then it says is having your dog listen to you in a highly stimulating environment, and then below that I have
Yeah, go ahead.
But below that I use high value treats to redirect them from a life threatening situation. And then after that, I have, for example, if a dog has a tendency to run towards the streets, and then what I just repeat the point that I just made before?
No, you got to drop something out of there. So
right.
Do it. Let me hear it again.
Okay, so
preventative. My next point is preventative training.
Preventative training is having your dog listen to you in a highly stimulating environment.
No, cut that out.
Okay.
Cut that out. Having your dog listen to you. We'll see if we can't put it. Yeah, cut that out. What's the next thing? What's the next thing you said?
I use high value treats to redirect from a life-threatening situation.
Such as
if a dog has a tendency to run towards the street, and then you were saying
if the dog is not, if the dog has a tendency of not listening and running, out into
to not listen. Okay.
To not listen and run into, I use, there's operative words there that connect to the people watching this video. There are words, and not listening, good word.
Right.
The dog has a tendency of not listening and running into the street, which we all know, we don't have to say cars or anything, into the street.
Mm-hmm.
I use a training method of high value treats to train to redirect that dog not to do so.
Okay. So so then I should say, even so I'm referencing the point I made before that, then, is what I'm doing here. Because I say I use high value treats to redirect from a life-threatening situation. For example, if a dog has a tendency to not listen and run towards the street, I use high value treats to, do I just reiterate the same point? Or do I just move that point to the bottom? Like, would I say?
Okay, so read the your first main point, dog
Okay.
development
Okay.
psychology.
So, dog developmental psychology. If you try to train your dog to listen to you outside with tons of distractions, it can be overwhelming. However, if you start from a low stimulating environment, you'll have success. An example of that would be in my own business, where a puppy picked up some glass, but because of my training, they were able to drop the glass with no injury.
Keep going.
Okay, to drop the glass. And then preventative training. And you said to scratch out is having your dog listen to you in a highly stimulating environment.
Yeah, let that go for right now.
Okay, preventative training. I use high value treats to redirect from a life-threatening situation. For example, if a dog has a tendency to not listen and run towards the street, I redirect their, well, what would have happened is that we would have had practice redirecting breaking their fixation and redirecting their attention back to the owner.
Go ahead, write that down.
So, okay, for example, if a dog has a tendency to not listen and run towards the street, we have practiced breaking their fixation and redirecting their attention back to their owner.
Good. That's it.
Okay.
Read that again.
Okay, so preventative training. I use high value treats to redirect from a life-threatening situation. For example, if a dog has a tendency to not listen and run towards the street, we have practiced breaking their fixation and redirecting their attention back to their owner so that this situation doesn't occur.
Good.
Okay.
So that, what situation? So a life-threatening situation does not occur. So always back to your main point.
I see. Life-threatening situation does not occur.
Does not occur. So now we're going to skip the third main point.
Okay.
Now let's see if we can't get to the conclusion.
Okay.
I talked about two things. One, the dog development psychology that we work with, and which is what, very quickly, which is what? Dog development psychology, which training Go ahead.
Dog de dog developmental psychology, which is training your pup to listen
Not pup, because it's
so
all
training your dog, right? Training your dog to listen to you in all circumstances.
all overwhelming circumstances, all what? Highly stimulated circumstances.
Okay.
Is
So
that what it is?
highly stimulating, yeah.
Okay, write that down.
So, and this is for the conclusion you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Conclusion. Okay. So
we talked about
okay.
Dog development psychology, because you always have to tell your listeners again what you just told them.
Right.
This time, very, very briefly. So whatever your definition of dog development psychology, which is
okay, which is having your dog
training your dog. Training your dog.
I see. Yes. Training your dog to listen to you
in highly stimulating
environments.
And we talked about preventative training. Right? Preventative training, which is what? Redirecting.
Okay. Preventative
training, which is
training, which, sorry, I got some slow handwriting here.
That's all right.
Which is, and then that's right, I crossed this out. Which is breaking your dog's fixation and redirecting their attention.
Your dog's fixation and breaking their attention. Good. Okay.
Okay.
I'm David Leone from
New York City.
No.
Or Top Dog Training.
I'm David Leone from New York City. I'm Kerry Ruff from New York City. What are you talking? No, your title.
Oh goodness.
I'm David Leone from the title of your company.
From Top Dog Training, and then
that's it.
Okay.
From Top Dog Training. Boom.
Okay.
Got it?
So as we discussed, preventative training, which has which is breaking your dog's fixation and redirecting their attention back to you. Okay, wonderful.
Okay, now you see that now we're gonna do this, but then we can do it again over and over. I mean, this is the practice and so forth, but we're gonna have something so you can work with. But right behind you now, this where I am right now, I wouldn't shoot my video. I got too much stuff going on behind me.
Okay.
So you have that brown bag.
Oh,
So get rid of the brown bag, can you?
okay.
Move it,
Yeah.
and move it to the side. You can leave it,
Yeah.
and also your guitar.
Okay. I got a few little things here, which
Not those little. Oh, what's the brown bag?
the brown bag, that's just my little duffel bag.
Okay, move your duffel bag. That's all you need to do. Okay,
Okay.
that's it. Move your guitar.
Move the guitar.
You can leave the. Is that a speaker?
Yeah.
Okay, you can leave that speaker.
Okay.
You got your hair where you want it because you're dressed really nice.
Thank you.
No, let's do it sitting. Let's do it sitting down, David.
Okay.
Let's do it sitting down. Because probably I'm gonna have you. You got your hair all ready?
Yes, sir. All right.
All right. Are you gonna now? Would you want to wear your glasses or without your glasses?
Well, I know you said it kind of makes it harder to see the eyes, right?
Can you see the page?
Yeah, I can still see the page.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, good. Okay. Now, where can you put that? These are all just practices,
Okay.
but that looks really good.
Okay.
So, now let's just practice, and then a number of times, and then I want you to be able to have it. I'll send this to you, and
Okay.
just forward it to the end. So go ahead. Let's hear what you have, and then we'll tweak it.
Okay. So.
Oh, and always start with your attention getter, which is your question.
Right. So then I would start. Would you be able to save your dog in a life-threatening situation? Today we'll talk about not getting into these situations in the first place and how to handle them when they do arise. Dog developmental psychology and and then those were the 2 points that we covered.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about those 2 points, which is dog developmental psychology and preventative training.
Okay.
That's it. So
preventative training.
Go back and start it again.
Okay. So would you be able to save your dog in a life-threatening situation? Today we'll talk about preventative training and dog developmental psychology. Hi, my name is David Leon. I've been training dogs for 5 years in New York City through my business, Top Dog Training. If you try to train your dog to listen to you outside with tons of distractions, it can be overwhelming. However, if you start from a low stimulating environment, you'll have success. An example of this would be in my own business.
Wait, isn't that dog development psychology?
Yeah.
Okay, you got to hit with dog. So my first point is dog development psychology. So go back and start at the beginning again.
Okay. Would you be able to save your dog in a life-threatening situation?
Yeah.
Today we'll talk about preventative training and dog developmental psychology. Hi, my name is David Leon. I've been training dogs for 5 years in New York City through my business, Top Dog Training. My first point is dog developmental psychology. So
you cross that out. You don't have to say my first point.
Oh, okay. So
you can say
first we'll cover.
Let's start with
dog developmental psychology. Okay. So, I'll start from the beginning. Would you be able to save your dog in a life-threatening situation?
No.
Today we'll talk about preventative training and dog developmental psychology. My name is David Leon, and I've been training dogs for 5 years in New York City through my business, Top Dog Training.
Great.
We'll start with dog developmental psychology. If you try to train your dog to listen to you outside with tons of distractions, it can be overwhelming. However, if you start from a low stimulating environment, you'll have success. An example of that would be in my own business, where a puppy picked up some glass, but because of my training, they were able to drop the glass with no injury.
The puppy was able to drop the glass.
Okay.
Go back and change that. The puppy was able to drop the glass.
That's what I had before, and then I scratched it out, and I'm not sure because of my training. The puppy.
The puppy was able to drop the glass with no.
Okay, let me. The puppy was able to. Okay, wonderful. I'll start from the beginning. Would you be able to save your dog in a life-threatening situation? Today, oh, no, I don't say that. Oh, sorry. Would you be able to save your dog in a life-threatening situation? Today we'll talk about, yes, preventative training and dog developmental psychology. My name is David Leone, and I've been training dogs for 5 years in New York City through my business, Top Dog Training. We'll start with dog developmental psychology. If you try to train your dog to listen to you outside with tons of distractions, it can be overwhelming. However, if you start from a low stimulating environment, you'll have success. An example of that would be in my own business, where a puppy picked up some glass, but because of my training, the puppy was able to drop the glass with no injury. We'll also talk about preventative training, which is that I use a high-value treat to redirect from a life-threatening situation. For example, if a dog has a tendency to not listen and run towards the street, we have practice breaking their fixation and redirecting their attention back to their owner so that a life-threatening situation does not occur. So today we've talked about dog developmental psychology, which is, again, training your dog to listen to you in a highly stimulating environment. And we've also discussed preventative training, which is breaking your dog's fixation and redirecting their attention back to you.
Uh-oh, are you frozen?
No.
Oh. Back to you. My name is David Leone.
Okay.
My name is David Leone. My name is David Leone from.
Oh, I see.
And the title.
I almost put my dog as David Leone, and that's not quite accurate.
All the dogs that I've trained over the 5 years, David Leone. That's fabulous. That's fabulous.
Wonderful.
Now,
thank you. This helps so much.
Well, I'm going to want you to maybe get up,
okay,
walk around and come back. You need to go get your hair. I mean, I like that, but you can't be doing this.
Yes, every time
for 2 minutes. And I'm going to also time this.
And you said, so I should put, my name is David Leone and, from Top Dog Training.
From Top Dog Training.
And should I say anything after that?
No.
Okay.
No, because when you send this out, you'll put at the top or at the bottom your email, your contact information.
I see. Okay.
And all you don't want to sell anything. All you want to do is let people know this is how you can add value to their lives.
Okay.
This is how I can add value. I'm David Leone from Top Dog. I like that. Top Dog. Is that what it is? Top Dog?
Yeah.
And and then just boom, and you're out. So now I'm going to time it. So I just want to get a rough idea on how long this is. So and don't forget,
Mhm.
you have to, you can, maybe we'll do this the next time, or we'll do this with your phone. You'll have your phone there and
Mhm.
be able to, but don't forget the eye contact.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So stand up a little bit, shake it out, because I'm going to get maybe two or three.
Let's see.
Just shake it out.
You see me okay here?
Yeah. Is that the way you want your hair, like that? Because it looks cool.
There we go.
And I
Okay,
love
so
that.
now-
I love that vest.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I like that you're standing. Wow. Let's do it. Let's do it once standing. And yeah, and attempt to look at the camera
Okay.
as you do it. And do it. You can do it as slow as you want or whatever. And then we're going to do it sitting down.
Okay.
Okay. So, and get you. But that's one thing. Keep your hair out of your face.
Okay. Yes. All right.
I want people to be able to see those eyes, but they can't see them this far. It's too far away. But I like it here, and then we'll do it the other way. So,
okay.
Anytime you're ready.
Okay.
Take a breath. Okay. And remember what's your first line?
Would you be able to save your dog in a life-threatening situation?
Yeah. Say that right to the camera.
Okay.
And then you can look down and then look up every now and then.
Okay.
Connect with your community that needs your help.
Mm-hmm.
They need you.
Mm-hmm.
So, but take a deep breath. You have your first line?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anytime you're ready.
Okay. Would you be able to save your dog in a life-threatening situation? Today, we'll talk about preventative training and dog developmental psychology. My name is David Leon, and I'm a dog trainer in New York City who trains dogs through my business, Top Dog Training. We'll start with dog developmental psychology. If you try to train your dog to listen to you in a highly stimulating environment, it can be overwhelming. However, if you start from a low stimulating environment, you'll have success. An example of this would be with my own clients, where a puppy picked up some glass, but because of my training, the puppy was able to drop the glass and no injuries occurred. Next, we'll talk about preventative training. I use high-value treats to redirect from a life-threatening situation, such as if a dog has a tendency to not listen and run towards the streets, then we have practiced breaking their fixation and redirecting their attention back to the owner so that a life-threatening situation does not occur. In conclusion, we've talked about, or I shouldn't say in conclusion.
Yeah, that's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. In conclusion, we've talked about dog developmental psychology, which again is training your dog to listen to you in a highly stimulating environment. And we've also discussed preventative training, which is breaking your dog's fixation and redirecting their attention back to you. My name is David Leon from Top Dog Training.
Okay, have a seat.
Okay.
Because we're going to do it right from here, and that'll be all we need to do.
Not too shabby, or?
Oh, come on, David. That was fabulous. Come on.
Okay.
You just wrote that up. You just did that. Sure. You're the best. You're the best. Come on. That was incredible. It's what you wrote. I mean, it's words popped out. Well, you're right there in that mood. So can you, it was less than 2 minutes.
Oh, awesome.
Fabulous.
Wow.
So, and then we'll be able to even cut it and edit it for a minute to get it, to have some music behind it and everything when we get that done. that was a minute 40, a minute 48. 4:48. Don't forget the years. Don't forget you have on there your attention getter, then what you're going to talk about, then introduce yourself with how many years. You forgot the years.
Oh, I forgot the years. Okay. Yeah, I slipped up a little bit there, and I tried
No,
to
there's no
improvise.
slip up. That's that's what editing and that's what doing it over and over is all about.
Right.
So it has nothing to do with slipped up. Okay, so right there, can you give eye contact, or would you need to have it closer, you know, or right in there?
Oh, from here?
Yeah, can you do it right there?
Yeah.
Give eye contact and still make sure. Now, what I would say is, and what I'm going to have you do is write it over.
Okay.
So you can see it.
Okay.
Because right now you're looking over some of your writings, you know, like mine. You know, they're notes and everything that you just put together. So I'm going to have you for the next time write it over, and then we'll practice a few times, and then we'll record it.
Okay. That
Okay.
sounds great.
Yeah, and then also, yeah, never mind. Okay, so go ahead from right. So right there, lift up your camera a little bit so you have a little headroom. Yeah, good. Okay, good. And I'm going to have you wear that vest
Okay.
when you do this because it's fabulous.
Thank you.
This is going to work beautifully. Beautiful. Okay. All right. So take a breath, sit up straight. And just focus on what's your first line?
Would you be able to save your dog in a life-threatening situation?
Okay, good. Look down a little bit because you were looking up. Why?
Oh.
I'm
looking right at my camera, but.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay, so camera is. Look down a little bit. Look down where I am.
Okay.
Down. Ooh.
Is that better?
Yeah, that is better. I wonder
okay.
what. Okay. Can you look right where you're looking now? Can you when you because that's the audience right there where you're looking now. Okay. Okay. What's your first line? Take a
Would
breath.
you be okay?
Go ahead. Either one. And what's your first line?
Would you be able to save your dog in a life-threatening situation?
Okay. All right. Okay. You all set?
Yes.
Anytime you're ready.
Okay. Would you be able to save your dog in a life-threatening situation? Today we'll talk about preventative training and dog developmental psychology. My name is David Leone, and I've been training dogs for 5 years in New York City through my business, Top Dog Training. We'll start with dog developmental psychology. If you try to train your dog to listen to you in a highly stimulating environment, it can be overwhelming. However, if you start from a low stimulating environment, you'll have success. An example of that would be in my own business, where a puppy picked up some glass, but because of my training, the puppy was able to drop the glass with no injury. Next, we'll talk about preventative training. I use high-value treats to redirect from a life-threatening situation, such as a dog who has a tendency to not listen and run into the streets. We have practice breaking their fixation and redirecting their attention back to the owner so that a life-threatening situation does not occur. In conclusion, we've talked about dog developmental psychology, which is, again, training your dog to listen to you in a highly stimulating environment. And we've also discussed preventative training, which is breaking your dog's fixation and redirecting their attention back to you. My name is David Leone from Top Dog Training.
How do you feel about it?
I feel like I would have to practice this quite a few more times
Yeah, don't memorize it.
Oh, okay.
Now this time, that's a minute and a half. It's fabulous.
Great.
This time, don't say in conclusion.
Okay.
Yeah, don't say in conclusion. You put 5 years in there. Good. Now this time, do it with the David Leon energy,
Okay.
like this, and
Okay.
take as long as you want.
Okay.
You know, da 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 da.
Okay.
Da 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 da.
Okay.
Really give, because are your eyes hurting? Do you need your glasses?
Oh, am I squinting a little too much?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I tend to do that. I can put my contacts on and then.
No, not necessary. Not necessary. Not necessary. Put your glasses on again.
Let's see. Hopefully it's not too distracting.
Yeah, keep your glasses on. I can see them right there. Good. Okay. All right. That was a minute 29. Okay. Do it once again. Hold on. Let me reset. Okay, but make sure that you do, give the energy and the smile, that David Leon smile. But give some energy. Add value to their lives.
Okay.
This video is going to help you. It's going to add value to your life. You're going to be able to train your dog, and your dog will have a wonderful life because you had my training.
Mm-hmm.
So help them out, David. Help them out. All right. Okay, you ready? Take a breath. Got your first line. Anytime you're ready.
Would you be able to help your dog? No, that's
good. I like that. Good.
Okay, let's start over here.
All right.
Would you be able to save your dog in a life-threatening situation? Today, we're going to talk about preventative training and dog developmental psychology. My name is David Leon, and I've been training dogs for 5 years in New York City through my business, Top Dog Training. We'll start with dog developmental psychology. Now, if you try to get your dog to listen to you in an outside environment with tons of distractions, it can be overwhelming. However, if you start from a low stimulating environment, you're going to have success. An example of that would be in my own business, where a puppy decided to pick up some glass. And because of my training, they were able to drop the glass with no injury. Next, we'll discuss preventative training. So what I do is that I use high-value treats to redirect from a life-threatening situation. For example, if a dog has a tendency to not listen and run into the street, then we have practiced breaking their fixation and redirecting their attention back to the owner so that a life-threatening situation does not occur. Now, we've talked about dog developmental psychology, which again is having your dog listen to you in those highly stimulating environments. And we've also discussed the preventative training, which is breaking your dog's fixation and redirecting their attention back to you. I'm David Leon from Top Dog Training.
I'm so glad we've got this. Did I just pause it? Uh-oh, let me see.
No, it's still going, it says.
Still going? You still staying recorded? I'm so glad we got this. How come I can't get this thing out of this little mute out of the way? Anyway, fabulous. That's it. That's it. I mean, we might be able to just take this segment and that's it. That's all we've got to do.
Wow.
David, I'm going to let you go because I know you're going off to a client.
Yes.
So I'm going to let you go. And so thanks an awful lot. Well done. We got the objective. We got the video done, which I wasn't expecting. I was expecting, we'll have to do it again. But way to go, David.
Thank you so much, Kerry. You know, the outline really helped a lot. I mean, even just formulating my own thoughts for myself, you know, not even just for the customers. But yeah, this has been so helpful, and I'm really, really happy about how this all turned out. So
Good.
just thank you again. I'm really, really glad I reached out to you, because um, this has been everything. I mean, this is gonna take my business to the next level,
It
hopefully.
is. It will take your visit to the next level. And you just keep doing them,
Hmm.
keep doing them. Okay.
Will
I'm
do.
going to take care, David.
All right. See you next time, Carrie.
All right,
Thank you.
David. Thank you.